Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new installment of the ME Show. My name is Ali Midawi, and boy, oh boy, I got a good one for you today, as I'm honored to introduce a powerhouse entrepreneur whose journey is not only phenomenal, full of accolades, but is an inspiring one and absolutely impactful. With 28 years in the networking industry, mostly in the service sector, this gentleman was once on the verge of walking away from it all. Years of dedications were met with serious health challenges until he discovered a breakthrough health product that transformed his life, that in a moment of healing wasn't just a personal matter, but it sparked a mission. Fueled by science and backed by results, this gentleman embraced a new health test and a product system that anyone can use to take control of their own wellness journey. Now, he has partnered up with a company, a 20-year established European brand, making waves globally and helped bring the proven health system to life. But he didn't just stop there. He built the marketing system he always wished existed, and Done For You platform designed for duplication, for ease, and a real customer acquisition, solving the core challenges faced by networkers for decades. Now, beyond network marketing, he also has owned multiple hotels and restaurants, generating millions and millions of dollars in revenue across industries, blending the business acumen with heart. And he is widely recognized as one of the most decorated professionals in the network marketing world, and even earning prestigious honors, including the Top Icon Award. Now, please understand that the publications in this information, in this interview, in this episode is for educational purposes and a little bit of entertainment too. It is only intended for that and not intended to diagnose, to treat, to cure, or prevent any disease. The stories that you're going to hear and experiences that are shared are for personal and unique individual experiences. Your own results may vary, so always consult with your own healthcare professional before making change to your health or wellness or even your own routine. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready to rock and roll with me, put your virtual hands together to an entrepreneur, to an innovator, to a wellness advocate. Please help me by joining the one and only, the legend himself, if you will, Henry Vigeant. What's up, my man?
Hey, Ali, how you doing? We met each other, 13 years ago, I
More.
believe?
And 11.
Wow, it's been that long.
2011, yeah. So that it's yeah, and I'm grateful that I got to see you in action, not just learn about you through bios. As many people know, especially in the digital entrepreneurial side of life, a lot of people hype up their own heads, right? But I've seen this man do what he's done, and grateful to have the opportunity to document the brand new chapter of your story. So, Henry, I know your greatness, and I've seen it firsthand from a front row seat. But there's a lot of people who might not have heard about how it all come to fruition. So, accolades aside, tell us a little bit how this entrepreneurial bug started. Was it always there, or was there some transition to become Henry Vigeant?
No, I'm gonna actually start off with a grim story. I'm one of 10 children, and when I was a young kid, I was put into foster care. Never had a father, and my mother had a lot of challenges. God bless her. But the thing about it is, I had to make a decision. Do I want to go the path of where everybody thought I was going to go, or a path that I wanted to go? And so, being put in all kinds of very challenging places, I just dove into the books. I was a bookworm, also varsity football, wrestling, and track. And so I did that, and I led it in all three from I believe, my sophomore year until my senior year. So from there, I went right into the military. I signed up before my 17th birthday. I started going to drills prior to basic training at 16 and a half years old. And so at 17 years old, my sister signed the paper, and boom, I was in basic training, Fort Benning. I was in the infantry. I had a wonderful career there. I was in during Desert Storm as well. Finalized my end of my career as a drill instructor. So I loved the teaching part of it. So here I was, a kid that had no future, to a man at that point. I felt like I was a man at that point. And so I thought doing what we were taught is work real hard, build a family, and live happily, right? But I was working for my sister's seafood company. It's not always great to be part of the owner's, workforce. They were always harder than me. So I went from truck driving to production manager to then becoming the shop foreman, then the maintenance guy, all together, right? And then all of a sudden I was the general manager. So they wanted to sell the business, and I spent about 3 years helping them fix the whole place up. And they sold. They sold when I was right before my 30th birthday. So I had a little bit of savings. I enjoyed the fast cars. I already had a house at a very young age. What I did is I took a chance on me. I already knew the food industry. That was my first job when I was in my teenage years, but I had no knowledge on how to be an owner. I did know how to run, the warehouse and business, and that was the backside of the food business. And so what I did is I put some money into a restaurant that was failed. I mean, it was rock bottom, and I literally lived there for the first year. And a week after I bought it, September 11th happened. There was nobody on the streets, no customers. I was just going, oh my God, I can't believe my whole life savings just went into there and it's going to go away. So I just grinded, I fixed it up, worked double shifts, earned $20 for a gallon of paint, and I painted a wall. Earned $60, I rented a carpet machine to clean the carpets, whatever it took. Just 4 years later, I sold that business for a large amount. So here I am in my early 30s, and then people wanted me to do chains. So I started building chains because I knew exactly what to do. And so I did multiple chains. I did one for a doctor in Boston, a place in Haverhill, Massachusetts. That's why I was like, all right, I'm successful at that. And then I've had opportunities to be an executive chef. When I was in the warehouse, going back to my network career, I had to be in freezers most of the day. The temperature says minus 20, but the wind chill is like minus 75. So when you're in a freezer at minus 75, you can't think about the cold. You actually got to think about like Florida, right? So I was thinking about anything but where I was. I made great income, but I definitely wanted something. And there was a gentleman, and this story is kind of impactful, right? So I was introduced into network marketing just as a person that they wanted to have a warm seat in a room. An old high school friend goes, I invited a couple people over to my house and nobody's showing up. Can you do me a favor? And I said, yes. So I usually worked until like 10 o'clock at night. And so I told the owner, I said, I need to get out of here at 7 o'clock. And he was like, what? I'm like, no, I promised somebody. And I literally left a seafood warehouse to go to the opportunity meeting. Now, he didn't have the most gracious apartment, and I didn't want to embarrass him. I actually was driving a beautiful Corvette, so I parked on the road, and I walked into his house. So he just thought I was just some schmuck, same age, going into his house. And while we were there, I could hear whispers about a guy in the corner. Oh my God, he smells. Why is he here? And he didn't say anything to anybody, but he was introduced to go to another meeting a week later, and he showed up. So again, the dirty looks, nobody was paying attention to him, and they didn't know that person came in at the lowest position. Everybody else was joining for $600 to start up, and he came in for $69. So for 1 year, he read the manual, a 300-page manual, 10 times. He listened to every one of the corporate cassette tapes. That's how old I am. Cassette tapes.
Hello. Right? Age gap alert.
and that gentleman that nobody wanted to talk to went skyrocketing and passed every top leader that was in that room like they were standing still. The reason why I know that story, the stinky guy in the corner, was me. Okay, so I always say, don't ever judge a book by its cover. Don't think it's just because somebody's a salesperson, they don't have the heart, because they didn't know what was inside of me. They didn't know the torment that I had to go through on a daily basis, inside freezers, questioning my own integrity. Am I stuck in a freezer my whole life? Oh my God, I have a daughter I have to provide for. And so when I got that fever, I loved it, but I hated talking. I wouldn't go in for the stage. All of a sudden, we didn't have anybody doing the meetings, and I started doing product demos. And then all of a sudden, before I knew it, that meeting was mine, and I was doing great. The company had a couple of challenges. That was a health nutrition company, by the way. They had a couple of challenges with the FDA, and I said, all right, I'm done. And that's when I actually went into the restaurant business, right at 30. So I've had people prospecting me to big companies right at the ground floor. I mean, I've seen Zango the first week they were in business, and the top 10 earner came right into my restaurant that I worked with in the past, and he was like, "Hey, we got a great position. I'll put you right in." And I'm like, "Nope, I'm busy. I'm focused on what I'm doing." So it took me a little while to get my brick and mortar stuff in play, but around 2008. I had the fever. I'm like, you can do it. If you've already done massive things in brick and mortar, it's time for you to find yourself. And so I went through some challenges just like everybody else. And by the way, I moved away from where I live, so I had zero contacts. Zero. I had to do it the hard way, collecting business cards, calling business owners, dropping off, what stuff I was trained to do. What I did is I attached myself to a mentor, and he did unbelievable on the phone, taught me a lot of business skills, phone skills. And he literally just showed me how to build a business in 5 hours a week. 5 hours a week. And so by the time we met, right, 2011, I had all the skill sets that could make me successful. The only thing that was stopping me was me, and I had to find the right opportunity. Then over the last, just say the next 13 years, I continue to see a pattern over and over and over again. I saw a lot of people get excited about opportunities. They just didn't have the skill sets, and more, I don't think they really focus on their goals.
Yeah.
I think without the goals, they allowed negativity to always get into their business. And just like a lot of businesses, they just go off to the next shiny object. And as social media develops, I believe it's even more and more this happens. And so what are the things that challenge people? A lot of people, they don't have the proper funding to launch a business, right? Or worst of all, they try to give up on their current employment. I think this is the worst decision people can ever make. Giving up on your current employment to pursue a plan B opportunity.
I think that was also a stereotypical thing that was pushed. I don't know who started it, right? Making fun of jobs. Like, oh, right. J-O-B, just over broke. And I'm like, dude, J-O-B guarantees an income for that person while 95% of you are not making a dime, right? So it's interesting that you're saying that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And I'm known as the blue-collar entrepreneur because you don't even can believe how many prospects that I called laying on top of a 110-degree roof. I was literally on a roof, on a conversation with $1 million a month earner, okay, that his company white labeled a deal under me. For an hour and a half, he's talking to the CEO. You would burn your legs on the roof. It was so hot. I was doing a commercial roof because I owned a construction company. And it was during COVID times, all my labor left, and I was literally grinding on a roof. It's like 130 degrees on that hot roof. And so here I am talking and closing $1 million a month earner, okay? And an hour and 45 minutes, I literally laid underneath one of the AC ducts just to get out of the sun, pouring sweat. And I couldn't leave to do anything because I was on the call. I didn't want it to drop. So over and over again, I built businesses part-time, spare time, but consistently. And I've always did this, and by doing that, to become some of the best recruiters in the industry. And people always thought, oh, he must be full-time. The answer is I was not full-time a lot. I've always had businesses.
Would you agree with the statement? It's not about how much time you have, but what you do with the time that you do have, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I literally spend about 20% of my spare time on self-development. This morning I read 3 chapters of a book. It was about social media. Gary, was it Vaynerchuk?
Yeah. Gary Vaynerchuk, yeah.
Yeah, I read 3 chapters this morning. This morning I also exercised for an hour. This is all before 7 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
So that's how I invigorate myself. I fixed a dishwasher I was telling you earlier. It's still not even put back underneath the countertop. It's running through a cycle. So, and then I talked to some of my teammates, but 80% of the time that I put in, it's doing business. It's gathering customers, prospecting.
Income-producing activities, yeah.
Right. I don't spend a lot of time on fluff. I just don't do it. I have 5 hours a week I always dedicate to team calls, company calls, and sometimes they try to do 10 hours a week. I just say, no, I'm only doing 5. I'd rather spend 5 hours on business. And I'm a high promoter of whatever business you are doing to really drive people to those events. I remember going into a company, and I started from the inside. I really wanted to get an inside view of a company. And for 6 months, I did nothing. Got 1 customer. That was me. Okay? And I went to the national event, and the CEO knew me right away. And I basically had a customer decal. I tossed it in the trash. And I'm not a customer. And she was like, Henry. I'm like, hi. And she's like, you know who I am? I'm like, yes, I do. She goes, I didn't know you were coming here. I said, I didn't know I was going to be here. So she was like, so do you see the vision? I said, absolutely, I do not. I go, maybe after the weekend, we could talk. So she and I had a 2-hour conversation a day and a half later when everybody else was at the little gala event. And I told her, I said, well, Cammie, I go, I know there's a founders thing that's closing. I wanted to see if I can be part of the founders thing. She's like, well, I could check, but these people have been doing it for a year, and that's closed and all this other stuff. I go, give me 30 days. She goes, that's impossible. I go, if you agree to 30 days, I agree to 30 days. I go, I will be the #1 earner of this company. And she's like, gives me that look. Because there was a one company that brought over their entire team, and they were already $1 million earners. So they brought up a huge organization to this company. And I said, I see the vision. I would like to help you develop the company a little bit more. And I promise you in 1 year, I'll be the top person. And so in consistency, I grinded. I think I put in a total of 800 personals in that company. In a 4.5-year term, I've been in there for 6 years, but for 4.5 years, I did over 800 people. By being consistent, top leaders watch you from afar. And it doesn't matter the people that you put in. They just say, this guy's dedicated. He's growing his numbers. If I get involved with him, he's definitely the person that I want to partner in. And then every year, like clockwork, a big networker I would recruit, and we would crush build his organization. But my organization would grow. So for like three years consecutively, we broke all the records. Every year, the new team came in and we kept breaking records. And I found that is the key to building a massive organization. It's the consistency, the daily exercises. And so going back to what an average person or a new person faces, they don't have the consistency because they give up on their goals and dreams.
Yeah.
If you had a very strong why, they call it a why in the industry, nothing will stop you. The sun, God's sun at 130 degrees on top of a roof will stop 99.9% of the people on earth. Not me. I was in a freezer at minus 75. What's 130 degrees, right? And so,
Right, both ends.
it's literally that burning desire. And today, I still have that same burning desire that I did 28 years ago in my friend's living room.
Mm.
And
that's
I believe it doesn't, you can have failures. It's just like college. To every course you take in college, does that always mean that one course is going to make up your whole life? No. You learn from that course. Some courses you're like, I will definitely not go into that profession. How many people have gone into psychology courses and they never end up in that field? But as an education, they get a broader view of what's going on. So there's been companies that failed me. There's been companies that I failed the company, I'm sure. But if you take all your education and you sum it up and you look back in the past and you say, well, I see a flaw. Like you said, people are taught to leave their jobs too quick. People are taught just to hit up their friends and family, or don't hit up your friends and family. Go to salespeople. Whatever they're trained to do, it's an outright flaw. Especially nowadays, most people don't talk on the phone, and so I'm dating myself. That's the way I was taught. So somebody in my age, which I'm 54. Right? The people that I network with, they were almost all my age. And I looked at them like, I don't network with a lot of young people. Mm. And so I started looking at, what do young people do?
We dance on TikTok.
Right. Well, the thing is, we used to watch television programs, hour, or movie, 2 hours. They can't sit through an hour without looking at their phone.
And if we are watching it, we are scrolling while we're watching it.
Right. And as Gary Vaynerchuk said, he goes, if you're not aware of the new brands out there and the new platforms, you're just missing the boat.
We've discovered a secret that will not just open your eyes, it will revolutionize how you think about your health. You have two options. Stop this video now and continue believing what you think is true. Or keep watching and discover a life-changing secret to better health.
Your body is a masterpiece made up of trillions of cells. Each one works like a major production facility, absorbing nutrients from food, converting them into energy, and carrying out specialized functions in your body. All of this happens without you having to think about it. In a perfect world, the cells get the nutrients they need from what you eat and drink. However, science has revealed a group of essential nutrients that 97% of the world population is unknowingly short of. A problem lurking within the body, affecting various aspects of your well-being. This is not a minor deficit, it is dramatic. Because they regulate the flexibility of your cell membranes, how well your cells absorb nutrients and remove waste. They're vital for your cognitive functions. Your cardiovascular system relies on them. Your heart needs them every single day. And they even support your immune system to do what it does best. Keep you healthy and energized throughout the day.
But one question remains. How can you find out if you're getting enough of these essential nutrients that hold a key to unlock your body's potential?
With just a small drop of blood, you can get the knowledge and power you need to set everything right. Testing your levels will uncover your personal needs. Restoring them will revolutionize human health forever.
When life-changing innovations are revealed, they give birth to multi-billion-dollar industries. Ideally, you want to enter a large existing market with sustainable growth and technology that sets you apart as 10 times better than the current market leaders. That is what we have.
Thanks to our groundbreaking Scandinavian health tech solution. Today, more than 3 billion people care enough about their health to either take supplements or follow specialized diets. Our test will open their eyes. Are you in the safe zone or among the 97% who are not getting enough of these essential nutrients? Having your own health plan is pure logic. Getting proof that it's working should be too.
We predict that more than 1/3 of this already interested group will put their supplements to the test during the next decades. That's 1 billion people, giving you the unique opportunity to leverage this megatrend in the making.
What if you could play a pivotal part? What if you created a fulfilled career in this megatrend? What if participating in this test-based revolution enabled you to live life on your own terms? Picture a life where your heart beats stronger, your mind is sharper, and your days are filled with boundless energy.
This is the success story waiting for those who embrace the power of personalized nutrition. Remove the guesswork. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Join us, share this secret, act on this life-changing innovation. My name is Hilda. I'm the co-founder of Zenzino, and I can't wait to meet you.
It's like a lot of people, especially my age, they'll see a new platform like, oh, I'll get an account, and they walk their dog on one video, and they come back a year later. Matter of fact, that's a quote from his book this morning. And then they missed it, and then they start marketing right online. They don't create any
brand awareness,
and people like, oh, that guy's just trying to spam me, right?
You're speaking my language right now, brother. This is going my I love that you're putting the effort towards, because you're right. I was on the phone with a colleague and a partner. He's actually a friend of our family. We are in business together in a company I co-own, and he's telling me, he's like, hey, what can we do to ramp up all things marketing and branding? And I was like, well, first of all, we got to stop what we were doing. I'm like, with all the respect, everybody that you're working with right now is doing the same strategy that we've done in 2017. And that no longer matters, So I appreciate the fact that you have the unmitigated gall to challenge what was and understand that it's time to re-up and recreate in a different way, which is, I mean, I took a lot of notes on everything that you said. It speaks a lot of, like, if I were to do an evaluation of who made you who you are, I see foster child. So there's that sense of abandonment and innovative self. I got to figure it out one way or another. Military, very organized, very resilient, and no matter what, I'm going to make it happen. The versatility that you've had, whether working in the restaurants or the hotels, or driving a truck or building from ground up. I see the growing pains that you were willing to go from the truck all the way to literally running the whole thing. Having early success comes with its own benefits, because it gives you an idea of what the standard is, but at the same exact time, it may develop a sense of humility and I want more. Right. If you are the right person. The 911 a week later after you open your own, my God, I felt your pain on that one, because we had traditional businesses and Hurricane Sandy hit, and that was just so that was what made us go into North American Power. It was, right. It was out of desperation. We were like trashed everywhere. And then starting to see the pattern.
Well, hold on a second. I wanted to dive into this really quick. So you and I were not on the same groups. We were complete opposite. But know what the best thing is? Out of 300,000 reps, you and I won all the awards.
Yeah.
It was like our team. It was. So every rank, they had 5 people going to the trips.
I'll tell you the secret. I'll tell you my secret. Are you ready? You ready? Wait, check this out. I'll tell you why. I don't know if you remember, but I used to come all the way to Rhode Island. I would come all the way to New Hampshire events, even if I had no one in there.
Right.
I was like, okay, I knew that's where the buzz was. I knew that's where and man, I was like, okay, I'm going to go and learn. And everybody, like, even people like, You're doing what? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take a ride. Like, and then I'm going to take the ferry. It's like, 6 hours each way, but we'll figure it out. They're like, for what? Well, they're like the biggest team right now in the company. Like, that's where the buzz is. I understand they're going to have like hundreds of people in there. Okay, so what are you going to do? I just want to learn. But you're already in there. Do you have guests? It doesn't matter. I just want to go learn.
Right.
I went up, and brother, I was taking notes. Like, how the edification would happen, who's presenting, what were the slides, how short of an overview was it, how does everybody SWAT all the way around and talk to guests, where was the break? And I come back, I'm like, okay, here's how we're going to do things from now on. So it's, if you're humble enough, and you talk about consistency, man, my goal was I will never miss it. And I would do it, I would go to Atlanta, I would go to Chicago, and be like, well, for what? I'm like, well, first of all, I want to support. Second of all, that's where the buzz is. So I want to go there.
Like
So
that last event that we did outside of Houston,
yeah,
I rented a mansion and I had all my top leaders. There was 22 top leaders. And I said, don't spend all the money at the hotel. We'll have food, pool, everything. And every day we did training. We spent 4 or 5 days before thing. And we had opportunity meetings. We brought the number one earners in. We did, me and my partner, John Cini, we actually did. So we literally like, we're coming here, come to the house, we'll do the meetings. And we filled it up like 50 prospects going to the meeting because I was like, hey, if I'm in Texas, I'm going to make it happen, right? So, that company shut down its network. You and I, if they kept going, and our organizations, like I said, we would have been done. Not even in 6 months, 3 months, the way both our momentums were. But again, learn from the past. Find something that is ethical, something with longevity, something that they're not just going to sell the rep force. So those are the things that I look at when I look at an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into the last piece that I wrote in here was that you have a challenger's mindset. Like you don't just accept things as they come. Like you're willing to like that that should be in a t-shirt, by the way. Like, give me 30 days and I'll give you 30 days, right? That was powerful. So let's fast forward to the now, right? Or recent. You've had the health challenges. If whatever you feel comfortable to sharing with us, because you are like, yeah, okay, that's great. I'm going to challenge that as well. So tell us a little bit about the health challenges and kind of what led you to the now.
Well, was it October? No, it was September 29th, 2023. It was my anniversary. So we go off. The first trip I had in a few years, I was busy building a hotel and restaurant. And so we're off for an anniversary. Did nothing physical. No challenges, but the next morning I woke up and I was deathly ill. A lot of stomach pains. I didn't even make it back to my house. I literally made it to the emergency room. And the pain level was so much I couldn't speak, couldn't talk anymore. The pain was so high. So before I knew it, I had a scan. And a few moments later, a doctor comes in. I look to my right and my wife was crying. I'm like, what did she just say? And she's like, I'd like to give you good news, but there's nothing good about to give you. You have cancer all through your pancreas and liver, and we need to do a biopsy. And I was literally upstairs into a room, and every few minutes they're putting potassium in me, drawing blood for 3 days straight, and I was not doing well. So a week later, after 8 or 9 doctors, they all said the same thing. Henry, get your affairs in order. Typically, pancreatic cancer is nothing to shake a leg on, especially since it's already metastasized into your liver. And I said, do I even get 6 weeks? They go, we can't even guarantee you that. And I was just like shocked. I was like, oh my God. So I left the hospital. And I remember I had to go face my boy, and he was home. And I told my wife, I said, I need a moment. And I have 12 acres of land, farmland, and I walked up in the paddock, and I just lost it. I lost it. I'm looking at the leaves that were just starting to come down. I go, is this the last fall, the last leaf I'm going to see? Am I ever going to see Christmas? And so I never even thought I would make spring. Didn't even think about it. And all I could think of was somebody else. I stopped right there. I'm like, enough. So I hugged my son, and all I did is make sure, like, is my life insurance paid? I called the life insurance, and luckily I got it. I got that taken care of just like 2 or 3 years before. I was like, I'm only like 48, 49. Why do I need life insurance now? Just like a lot of people think, right? But never know. And so then a week later, I had a chest port put in, surgery. They have a line that goes through up into my vein. And so you don't always have to do all these needles and stuff like that. And then I did the worst case. This chemotherapy is called FOLFIRINOX. And it's 4 chemotherapies in a day, per day. So I would go to get my chemo, and I watched 10 or 15 people do 1 bag of chemo. And I'm doing the 1 bag too. I'm like, oh, great. And all of a sudden I watched all them people leave. And I'm like, am I done? They go, no, you're not done. So 2 separate bags were placed above me. And I'm like, oh. Then I went from nauseous and clammy to freezing, and Billy can even see. So then all those people left, and then they gave me another injection, and they hooked me up to a pump for 24 hours for the last bag. And I asked them, I said, why don't I get that bag just like the other ones? They go, well, that's a 2-hour. If I did that one 2 hours, you'd be dead in 3. That's what the nurse says to me. I'm like, I'll stay for the 24 hours. So literally I had to do chemo for 24 hours straight, 4 different types. And I did that for a few months. Come to find out, that did nothing for my cancer. 0. I went to a specialist at Dana-Farber, and she says, you have a rare cancer, the same cancer as Aretha Franklin and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs did it all health. He never took any actions. It's literally the identical cancer. He got cancer at stage 1. I got cancer at stage 4. So then I started this other treatment. It's a chemotherapy, but it's a hormonal blocker. And so for the next 13 months, I took that, and I had a lot of side effects. And I'm not going to get into graphic details, but can you imagine being ill, the worst food poison, or getting hit by a car, combine it all together, and that's how I felt 3 to 5 days after my injections. And like wiped out that I would be so tired and lethargic, and all I did is want to sleep. I got chronic depression. Started having all kinds of different challenges happen to my body. I watched my hair turn gray overnight and hair falling out. My fingernails and toes weren't happening right. I had to pay $1,500 just for enzymes to eat prior to me eating, so I wouldn't have stomach pains. If I didn't, I paid the price for a day. And so, having conversations, I was like, why am I even doing this? It's terminal. It's going to kill me. And I don't like living like this. And this is my mindset. And at the time, I wasn't interested in building. I was still the top earner, or the top guy at another company collecting those residuals. I told him, I go, I don't know. I'm not really doing anything. I'll just, sporadically, I'm just too busy. And so all I was looking for was something to make me feel a little bit better. And I said to myself, Henry, you've been offered to do different companies. Why would you spend and ruin your legacy and just promote another company, a Me Too company that you don't believe in? And people, they offered me money. I mean, I was offered to be in corporate officers, and I was offered to be a master rep at different companies. I'm like, no, not interested. And so, I was just looking for something, and maybe something to make me just feel a little better. I tried counseling. That worked a little bit. Didn't help what I felt, but just it let me talk to somebody. I tried all different types of things. I tried to eat better. I tried to have vitamins. nothing would work. Nothing. So I find this company out of Norway that they said there's a bunch of proof. You take a blood test and basically it's a mega product. And I did a test. I was 29-1 out of balance. That means all my cells were just so closed that no nutrition could get in and no waste could get out of my cells. So even the chemotherapy that I was taking wasn't working properly. And so I took the product, and over the last 3 months, I felt my body change. I went from really feeling unwell to feeling invigorated. I sleep better. I wake up better. I'm exercising now. I just dropped 26 pounds like for no reason, and it's not in a bad way. I'm just literally just my body's working better. A lot of the health challenges I was having have dissipated, but more so, the best thing is even during my injections. I took injection in February and March. I didn't have all the side effects I normally did. That was different. I was like, wait a minute. No matter what, I can live with cancer because at least I could take the injections. It doesn't make me feel so bad. Mm-hmm. So I talked to my oncologist, and he goes, Henry, your blood pressure is doing really well. This is March 10th, and it's a lot better. And my oxygen level was up, and my resting heart rate was down to a 59 from a 62. And I said, I'm just doing some herbal supplements and fixing my omega-3 balance ratio. And he goes, well, you are really out of balance. And I said, I'm thinking about holding off on my treatments. And again, folks, I'm not saying that this is stopping my cancer. Nothing's stopping my cancer. I have terminal stage 4 cancer, and I have to live with that. But right now, my growth rate is minimal. I don't know if I have 1 year, 10 years, 5 years, or 2 months. I don't know that answer, right? But I know one thing. What I feel today is 10 times better than I felt in the last 2 years. I turned 54 today. I feel early 40s.
Happy birthday, y'all. He's celebrating his birthday with us. How awesome is that?
So, I decided not to take the treatments. And people it's not putting the cart before the horse. It's not like leaving your job for a network marketing opportunity. I was given a death sentence. And if I know that the treatments slow down my growth, but if I get the same response from an herbal supplement, isn't that good? And, I don't know about you, but, $37,000 every 6 months is a big nut to crack. And my out-of-pocket expense is like $12,000. So if you take it for a monthly, you're talking about $2,000 to $4,000 a month out of pocket for all the different things. I have scans tomorrow, not just one PET scan. I have 2, and I get those every 6 months. I have an abdominal and a chest scan tomorrow, and I'm going to know clinically by the best oncologists in the world where my growth is in less than 10 days. And again, I look at it as this. If my growth rate is minimal, something I'm doing is working. If it starts to grow again, it's really simple. I can just take my injections again. But my demeanor and my depression's gone. I have things happening to me, and I have no depression. So that's when you're living with cancer, every day is special. About an hour before this conversation, I was just sitting outside with my dogs in my pajamas. I was literally sitting on the stoop. One of my dogs has a little a knee injury, so he wants to be outside, but I have to monitor him. He was just laying on my lap. My other dogs, I'm like, so those are special times, So yeah, a lot of people, they get bad news like that, they just fold. They fold and they give up.
That's going back to the challenger that I was talking about. I know people that just have the automatic, well, I really don't want to exhaust my money, and I just let whatever happens, and they just quit, like what could be prevented in some cases. But it goes back to that mindset that you have, which I truly appreciate.
We've discovered a secret that will not just open your eyes, it will revolutionize how you think about your health. You have two options. Stop this video now and continue believing what you think is true. Or keep watching and discover a life-changing secret to better health.
Your body is a masterpiece made up of trillions of cells. Each one works like a major production facility, absorbing nutrients from food, converting them into energy, and carrying out specialized functions in your body. All of this happens without you having to think about it. In a perfect world, the cells get the nutrients they need from what you eat and drink. However, science has revealed a group of essential nutrients that 97% of the world population is unknowingly short of. A problem lurking within the body, affecting various aspects of your well-being. This is not a minor deficit, it is dramatic. Because they regulate the flexibility of your cell membranes, how well your cells absorb nutrients and remove waste. They're vital for your cognitive functions. Your cardiovascular system relies on them. Your heart needs them every single day. And they even support your immune system to do what it does best. Keep you healthy and energized throughout the day.
But one question remains. How can you find out if you're getting enough of these essential nutrients that hold a key to unlock your body's potential?
With just a small drop of blood, you can get the knowledge and power you need to set everything right. Testing your levels will uncover your personal needs. Restoring them will revolutionize human health forever.
When life-changing innovations are revealed, they give birth to multi-billion-dollar industries. Ideally, you want to enter a large existing market with sustainable growth and technology that sets you apart as 10 times better than the current market leaders. That is what we have.
Thanks to our groundbreaking Scandinavian health tech solution. Today, more than 3 billion people care enough about their health to either take supplements or follow specialized diets. Our test will open their eyes. Are you in the safe zone or among the 97% who are not getting enough of these essential nutrients? Having your own health plan is pure logic. Getting proof that it's working should be too.
We predict that more than 1/3 of this already interested group will put their supplements to the test during the next decades. That's 1 billion people, giving you the unique opportunity to leverage this megatrend in the making.
What if you could play a pivotal part? What if you created a fulfilled career in this megatrend? What if participating in this test-based revolution enabled you to live life on your own terms? Picture a life where your heart beats stronger, your mind is sharper, and your days are filled with boundless energy.
This is the success story waiting for those who embrace the power of personalized nutrition. Remove the guesswork. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Join us. Share this secret. Act on this life-changing innovation. My name is Hilda. I'm the co-founder of Zenzino, and I can't wait to meet you.
And what I did over the last 3 months is my family doesn't go to church, but I'm a God-fearing person, and I go every Sunday, and I ask for forgiveness. And one of the things I said to my daily prayers, and I know this might sound weird to some people, I thanked him for giving me cancer. I did because in my life, sometimes some people might have thought I was cold, just driven, business. And And in my heart, I was still a softie, right? I still love things, but I didn't always express that. So now I look at things a little bit different. I look at someone that might not have the same views as me, in a different look, and same thing in politics and everything else, right? Before, maybe I was short or made decisive decisions. Instead, now I look at that person and I try to think, how did they get educated? How do they look at life, and why do they look at life this way? And so then, it was Memorial Day yesterday. So and I'm an ex-soldier, and I was just thinking about, we have the greatest place on earth to live. I don't know about you, but has anybody ever seen a tank roll down the streets of the United States? The answer is no, you haven't. It's never happened. We're the only country in the world that has never had that happen to us. Mm-hmm. We have ultimate freedoms that are given to us. We have the ability to say, if I don't like this network marketing company, I'm joining something else. If I don't like my job, I can quit tomorrow and I can start a new job tomorrow. Other people don't have that freedom. They certainly don't have the freedom to speak like we are today. And so I was so grateful for the people that wore the uniform yesterday. And
Henry, I'm curious on, talking about future and vision. A lot of us either don't understand or are afraid of the idea of death. And for someone that is going through what you're going through, from the moment, that shocking moment, to the mindset of, well, maybe I shouldn't spend money and just let it go the way it is, to like, you know what? No, I have a chance and I'm going to fight it out. Where does someone's mindset in your place? Like, are you at peace? Are you, like looking at life as a clock? Like, what help? There's some people that may be watching this right now who may not be dealing well with the concept of, I might die. Because one thing that I know for sure, we all are going to at some point. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Here's what you can look at. You said it, everybody's going to die. But what people don't know, that I know, is they don't know how they're going to die. When you know how you're going to die, that changes things, especially when a doctor gives you a clock, right? So you can either do two things. You can just, oh, that's it, I give up. My life is this, and this, right? And I went through those stages. But I look at it as differently now. I look at it as like, God's let me live for a reason. He's let me live for a reason. Why? Why is he let me live? Because I'm not done yet. And that's why I started another company. Because if I can just help 10 people feel good, better than they normally do, okay? Did God's purpose serve, did I serve a purpose to him? Absolutely. What if I help 1,000? What if it's 10,000? What if I earn enough income that I could donate $10,000 a month? Because that's actually one of my goals. Is as soon as I hit 50K a month, I'm going to take $10,000 and hand deliver it to a family in need with cancer every single month. That's my goal. That's my driving force. So every day is a blessing, and I have bad days. Not saying I don't. Today's an exceptional day. I feel good. It's my birthday. Talking with old friends. Beautiful outside. First time in like 2 months in New Hampshire. It's been raining for 2 months. So yeah, I mean, it's not that it's a very difficult question you actually asked me. But my thing about it is, now I look at every season as a blessing. It's beautiful outside. Everything's so green and fresh. And I went outside today. I said my prayers to God outside. I always go out in the morning when everybody leaves, and I say my prayers outside. And for me, it doesn't scare me. I do believe there's something out there, because there's too much power, there's too much energy, and everything is energy and matter, right? So when you have that kind of energy or passion, there has to be something. And if it's not, I'm just going to make the best days of my life for the rest of my days. You
I
know,
love that.
if it's helping somebody, and I know people use it all the time. I just want to help people. You know, it doesn't mean you have to always help them with money or charities. What about just helping people? My neighbor had a problem last week. They're both elderly. They had 2 flat tires on the bolt trailer. I'm actually the next door helping out a friend, and I saw them struggling trying to jack it up and everything. I stopped what I was doing, went outside. They had a bad jack. I went to my house, got a 20-ton jack, and I took both the tires off. I go, you need help? No, can we just use this jack until tomorrow, Henry? I said, sure. So I worked myself to exhaustion. I didn't sleep all the night before, and all I did is want to go to bed at 4:30 in the afternoon and take a nap. And at 4:45, I get a text. How do you get the jack down?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Put my clothes on. And I said, you need help? They go, no, we'll figure it out. I went over there, 10 minutes. I changed both the tires. And she goes, oh, I already did the lug nuts on that. I put the ratchet, the lug nut wrench on a bolt. And I did 10 turns after she said she did it all. I go, did you stagger the bolts? And she says, what's that? And I'm like, I got it. So I did it. I left. That's helping people.
Right.
It doesn't mean you have to always donate to charity or do. How about just care for people in need? If you're driving down the street and you see an elderly gentleman or a female shoveling and having challenges, get out of your car.
Mm-hmm.
You drop your plow, whatever it takes. Just help them for 10, 15 seconds. Don't look back. I do a thing called Wealth Wednesdays, and I've been doing it for quite some time. Actually, I learned this from Ray Higdon a long time ago. I went to his house in Florida, and I did a training for a day and a half with him. And so what I do is on Wednesdays, I go grocery shopping when I go grocery shopping. And I don't care who's behind me. I look at the cart, and I tell the thing, I go, and I hand cash. I said, that's for them. I don't look back. I don't film it. I don't need likes and loves. I literally walk out the door.
Don't tell me about your fate. Just be it, right?
I just walk out the door, and once in a while, I had somebody chase me down in the parking lot saying, why do you do this? I'm like, because I'm giving back. And so, and again, I have challenges. Not only a health challenge, I've had massive financial challenges over the last year and a half. Go through cancer and see how many challenges you have. So, and it's difficult to put on your socks and get changed every day and face life sometimes. But
Good question. You have you how many kids do you have?
I have 6 kids total.
God bless. So 5-10 years from now, they're watching this interview. What do you want them to see, remember, and know about Henry Vigeant?
That's a good one. My first 3 kids saw me in young challenges and doing things that maybe were not right. And so, but they also knew I had impeccable drive in business. One of the things that all my children saw me is I literally have also worked endlessly, seriously, to always make things right. I didn't always have everything. I didn't always have a house. I didn't always have, a camper and I didn't always have horses like I did in the past. So, but I always strived to make everybody else's life just a little bit better. Even though that I always, especially a dad, a lot of times kids don't get to know men. They know the moms really well because there's more of an emotional tie. But men are usually reserved. And a lot of times we don't get to express how much we love our children and how much we wish things would be different. That we got to see your soccer games or got to go to a certain event that we missed. It's not that we didn't want to be there. one of us couldn't be there, right? Or you wouldn't have the things that in life, like the $1,100 iPhones you walk around with, right? Or the cars on your birthdays and
Things
stuff
we
like
take for
that.
granted.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I just want them to know that no matter what your adversity and what your challenge is, and even right now in my illness, the day I go, all I wanted to do is see my children's face. That's it. To know that I did something in my life from where I was at foster care, and I helped somehow to bring, you know, 6 kids up, and or bring people into this world that can see somebody with drive and passion and not give up when it comes to an ailment. I'm not giving up to cancer. They're going to do a little bit better than that for me. So that's a very difficult question. I think it's something I want to ponder on. That's a real good question, actually.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that moment with me. There are a lot of people who definitely need to talk to you and connect with you, and we hope that we're going to be the arsenal that's going to help you doing that. But where can people connect with you and get in touch, whether it's about from a health perspective or they need a little bit of support from a business perspective? What's the best way to reach you?
Well, in social media, I'm the only Henry Vigeant out there,
There you go.
which is great. I kind of love that. I love having my own email that nobody else has. So definitely on Facebook Messenger. I'm on TikTok and YouTube, so you can just Google my name. But I have I do have some other things happening right now. I have a new marketing system coming, but certainly if somebody wants to know what I'm doing, you can just reach out to me. I'm very open to conversation. I'm all on the internet, and certainly I don't mind if somebody even calls me. My number is usually out there too.
Yeah, and we'll make sure, obviously, that we have all of your social media links directly into the copy of this episode, and we'll make sure that your website is in there. And I'm sure you've seen the different sizzle videos that we've introduced. Those are just some of the things that Henry is an advocate of, and definitely make sure that you schedule just a conversation, because the truth of the matter is, asking you shall receive. And here's a man who's willing to share with you on a more of a personal level, help you and assist you. And just keep in mind, we also are doing a little bit of fun activities, as we're giving away a 2-night, 3-day all-inclusive vacation into Mexico or the Caribbean upon availability. Just keep in mind, Henry does not get a commission on this. I do not get a commission on this. This is not a timeshare. There are no presentations. It's truly just a complimentary gift for those who are willing to work with Henry and his partner, John Cini. Shout out to John, by the way. I haven't talked to him in forever ago. So kudos.
Yeah, he tried to call me during this interview. I was like, sorry.
Yeah. Tell him I'll give you back in just a little bit. But as we are coming towards the end of this interview, Henry, some final remarks. What do you want the takeaway to be from this conversation today? Because I certainly have enjoyed it, and I'm so grateful that we got to get it all documented the proper way. So what is your final thoughts as we come into the end?
There's 2 things I want to say. When it comes to entrepreneurship in life, don't let anybody tell you can't do it. Anything is possible. Henry Ford, I was just talking to somebody about that, at his 6th grade education, and built one of the biggest dynasties of all times, right? I talked about my challenges. So if you don't know, how to do new things, reach out to people like Ali. Find out what other people are doing. Figure out what use your experiences, but educate yourself, continue education. And so, one of the things that I want people to know is it doesn't matter what business you're in, as long as you love it.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. Things don't always have to be rigid and cold. Business doesn't always have to be rigid and cold. And I lost sight of that in my life. I lost sight of sometimes you forget about family and you're so focused in business. Make time for the things that are right. I've made mistakes. I definitely have made mistakes. And going forward, I'm going to make time for the people that I care for. And you can leverage yourself with a home-based business. Doesn't mean, again, you can decide later on once you're earning money, you can make decisions. But there's nothing better than collecting a residual check every Friday, even after you stop working for two years. I've been doing that for 2 years. I still get a residual check. And so one of the things we started this conversation earlier about seeing challenges that people have. So I wanted to let people know, and there's a great thing happening here in just about 30 days. I've been working on something in my mind for 15 years. All the challenges that people have had, prospecting, advertising, duplication, education, training, all the things that all networkers go through, not just you. You're not the only person that has challenges. Ali had challenges and he drove to New Hampshire. I had challenges. I drove to Rhode Island or New Jersey or flew to Texas, right? I actually, one time I wanted to open up Puerto Rico. I put a backpack on with all the equipment. I went to Puerto Rico and I launched the company in there. And I just did it and I asked for forgiveness later on. And I literally had the biggest group in Puerto Rico. I only knew one person. I went to his house and I stayed at his house and we launched that country there. So I have a new done-for-you marketing system that's going, and it's in my industry, of course, but it's going to have everything somebody needs. A full sales funnel, education that clients will look at, a doctor could look at, your mother, father, sister, brother could all look at without spamming them. It's just full education. It's customer orientated. Partners can use it because they all get the same type of system. The back office has CRMs so you can control your leads. It has all kinds of scripts for text messaging because some people don't know what to say to people. Literally, you take the text and you send that person that text. They reply, you send them that video. Boom, right? But we also have free gifts, as Ali stated. We have vacations. We have special training. We traffic. People can get traffic right from the back office. They can get postcard marketing from the back office. Lead generation tools that literally just dump right into your sales funnel. Something that I saw in 2011. I was in a telecommunications company, and I watched a guy go right by me like I was number one in growth, and then a week later, I wasn't even on the radar. He went by me so fast, and the number one earner there was already the number one earner for 8 years. And he went right to number one earner in 11 months, making $1.3 million a year, using a very similar system. I watched this gentleman for, I don't know, from there, probably 8 years. I friended him, talked with him. We partnered up into another company. We broke the records in that company using a system. And so now I knew the back end. I knew exactly how it worked. And he's an expert at that. But one thing that he didn't have that I have is I grew it organically for 28 years. I know what people are going through on a daily basis. And so I'm trying to figure out how to make their home-based business easier on a time frame that they can deal with, but have a business that operates 24/7 without giving up your job. So we're going to be launching the Proven Health System. That's the name of the company. And it's for my health nutrition company that I'm building. And it's exclusive to our team. The company does not own the rights to this. I'm sure they're going to want to. But they do not own the rights to it. We're going to be the most powerful team and the entire company. I know that. I'm stating it right now. You're the first to hear that. I usually don't say something unless I believe it like that. And certainly, I cannot wait to watch people have success. And more so, how many people that we can get in great health. That's my mission, and that's what we're doing, and that's why I'm here today.
I love it. Well, we cannot wait to help promote, to share the love. And again, all the information for everything that has been shared is 100% found in the copy of this episode. So just scroll down. If you're driving, do not touch your phone. Once you're parked on the side, definitely just make sure that you go right into the links from social media to the links to the system itself, to the direct websites, to everything that may be relevant for you. We allocated and created for you 100%. And again, please keep in mind and understand that everything that you heard is for information and educational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And the stories and the experiences that have been shared as well are from personal and unique experiences of Henry Vigeant. Your own results may vary, so always consult with your own healthcare professional before making changes into your health, wellness, or into your routine. And definitely make sure you get yourself that vacation. It's one thing to work hard. It's another thing to work hard and then party afterwards. So,
There you go.
Henry, I'm grateful for you. I'm excited for you. I cannot wait to do many years of fun life and content together. And until next time, have yourself a blessed day, my friend.
Be well. Thank you.
We've discovered a secret that will not just open your eyes, it will revolutionize how you think about your health. You have two options. Stop this video now and continue believing what you think is true. Or keep watching and discover a life-changing secret to better health.
Your body is a masterpiece made up of trillions of cells. Each one works like a major production facility, absorbing nutrients from food, converting them into energy, and carrying out specialized functions in your body. All of this happens without you having to think about it. In a perfect world, the cells get the nutrients they need from what you eat and drink. However, science has revealed a group of essential nutrients that 97% of the world population is unknowingly short of. A problem lurking within the body, affecting various aspects of your well-being. This is not a minor deficit, it is dramatic. Because they regulate the flexibility of your cell membranes, how well your cells absorb nutrients and remove waste. They're vital for your cognitive functions. Your cardiovascular system relies on them. Your heart needs them every single day. And they even support your immune system to do what it does best. Keep you healthy and energized throughout the day.
But one question remains. How can you find out if you're getting enough of these essential nutrients that hold a key to unlock your body's potential?
With just a small drop of blood, you can get the knowledge and power you need to set everything right. Testing your levels will uncover your personal needs. Restoring them will revolutionize human health forever.
When life-changing innovations are revealed, they give birth to multi-billion-dollar industries. Ideally, you want to enter a large existing market with sustainable growth and technology that sets you apart as 10 times better than the current market leaders. That is what we have.
Thanks to our groundbreaking Scandinavian health tech solution. Today, more than 3 billion people care enough about their health to either take supplements or follow specialized diets. Our test will open their eyes. Are you in the safe zone or among the 97% who are not getting enough of these essential nutrients? Having your own health plan is pure logic. Getting proof that it's working should be too.
We predict that more than 1/3 of this already interested group will put their supplements to the test during the next decades. That's 1 billion people, giving you the unique opportunity to leverage this megatrend in the making.
What if you could play a pivotal part? What if you created a fulfilled career in this megatrend? What if participating in this test-based revolution enabled you to live life on your own terms? Picture a life where your heart beats stronger, your mind is sharper, and your days are filled with boundless energy.
This is the success story waiting for those who embrace the power of personalized nutrition. Remove the guesswork. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Join us. Share this secret. Act on this life-changing innovation. My name is Hilda. I'm the co-founder of Synzino, and I can't wait to meet you.